Hello, my name is Allie, and welcome to my channel. We are back with Mystic Destiny Serendipity of Aeons, Taku's route. Let's go.
Had another late night out with Pax again?
Ugh, don't remind me. I'm going to bed now. Night, kids. Without another word, Aurelia turns and disappears into another room. Takumi and I look at each other, and Taku smiles. Can't you just stick with one? Either Takumi or Taku? That's kind of confusing.
I'll show you to your room.
Taku takes me to a luxurious room, and I get a strange feeling of nostalgia. I love this room. This is so cool. I would stay in it. Especially with the music note stuff. I love that. It feels like some fancy hotel, or Dad's house in Paris.
Well, let me know if you need anything. I'll be on the couch. Good night.
Wait. I reach out and grab his arm. Oh, he's blushing. He slowly looks back, looking somewhat flustered. That doesn't last long, though, as a mischievous glint appears in his eyes.
What? You want me to sleep with you?
Oh, geez, Taku, get to the point. Get straight to it, huh? Jeez. I immediately drop my hand, letting him go. No, thanks. What I want is an explanation. A thorough one. To what's been going on in your life, and what all this is, and what exactly happened tonight. He sighs and turns around.
Fine. In a nutshell, I'm a private detective in Chowa. I primarily work here in Yoru. I help who I feel like helping. I take my jobs at nights, and parkour is how I get around. Aurelia trained me. I carry a variety of magical weapons to help me deal with supernaturals. That guy today, he had the power to create illusions. His magic was known for showing people who they feel the strongest about. You'd think it'd be a lover, but no. It's usually someone who you have strong regrets about, or who hurt you. So, I knew you were probably seeing your mother. I would have warned you, but he just suddenly showed up in the wrong place. Either my info was bad, or he figured me out.
His eyes search my face.
I know it's a lot to hear all at once, but does that about sum it up? Can I go to sleep now?
He's right. That was a lot. I stare at him blankly before remembering myself enough to nod. To think anyone is out there doing what he does. And to think that there's someone with powers like that. I was so certain it was Shizuka. She looked so real. Takumi begins to leave, and I call out to him before he can get through the door. I want to go see my father tomorrow. He might know something about Shizuka. Taku puts a hand in the air, waving in acknowledgement before closing the door behind him. Once he leaves, I waste no time diving into bed. It doesn't take even a minute for me to pass out. I wish it was that easy for me to go to sleep. It doesn't at all. It takes me hours. It'll be like 3 a.m. when I finally get to sleep. And then my son will wake me up at 8 or 9. So I don't get much sleep. Taku and I woke up late as hell today. Aurelia wasn't there when we got up, so we scavenged through the cabinets and ate whatever we could find for breakfast. After a quick call to my dad to make sure he's going to be in, we arrive at the Shinamura offices after working hours. Sorry, my brain just derped. As soon as Dad sees me, he smiles. Before anything else, I pull my dad into a big hug before he can even attempt to get up from his chair.
Oh.
He hugs me back just as tightly.
It's good to see you, sweetie.
I nod and let go, moving to stand next to Takumi. Dad, this is... Dad's smile widened suddenly.
Takumi Arai. Of course. I wouldn't forget your childhood best friend.
And yet somehow I did. He turns to look at Taku. I gotta sneeze. Okay, it went away.
It's been so long, Takumi. It's nice to see you again.
You too, sir.
I clear my throat, drawing attention to myself. Sorry to just bring it up like this, but I'm here about Mom. Hearing the word Mom, Dad's smile falls, and he glances at Takumi beside me. Anything you have to say, you can say it in front of Taku. He sighs, rises, and walks out from behind his desk to stand in front of us. Dad suddenly looks so very tired.
Your mother called me last weekend. She told me she would not be coming home anytime soon, if ever.
You don't look surprised.
He nods. I knew this day might come eventually.
Do you know about what happened to Munchie?
Wordlessly, he gives us the smallest hint of a nod, but just that single gesture sends me reeling. I feel like I've been punched in the stomach. I breathe out in a whisper. You knew? Father only stares back at me, the response in his guilty eyes. I stumble backward, nearly tripping over myself before Taku steadies me. I stare at the man I chose to call my father. In that moment, I feel like all of that vanishes, and I'm staring at a stranger. Something snaps inside me, and I feel white-hot anger come out like a flood. I clench my fists and glare at the man before me. What do you know? Where are you hiding Shizuka? Were you in all this, too? Tell me everything. Takumi gently puts a hand on my shoulder.
Munchie, calm down.
Takumi's voice is so calm and steady that I find myself backing down a little. He looks down with a sad sigh.
I've known that Shizuka was an immortal sorceress for many years, and I have known that she has been trying to look for ways to fix that, so we could leave this world together in the end. He looks up at me, and I do know that she didn't want the solution to be you.
I want to cover my ears, to block out everything he's saying. Oh, so she didn't want to use me, but she went right along with it anyway. He knew beforehand, and he didn't tell me. He just let it happen. My whole body shakes with restrained emotion. Only a single worried glance from Takumi keeps me from completely exploding.
Do you know where Shizuka is? If you would even tell us, if you did.
He slowly shakes his head no.
Although I deserve Munchie's anger, and even hate if she so desires it, this is very difficult for me too. I love my wife. I have more than half of my life, and now I'm uncertain if I will ever see her again.
Is that all he fucking cares about? That he might not ever see her again? What about me? Okay, girl, calm down. Take a deep breath. I have to live like this now because of what she's done. How can you even look at me after saying that? After everything that woman did? You're...
Munchie.
I freeze at the sound of my name on Takumi's lips. He quietly leads me to the side near the window.
If you keep going like that, we'll get nowhere. I understand that you're angry, I do. But stay quiet and let me investigate a bit with Rakuro.
My head and my heart don't seem to agree. I want to continue to yell at that man until I can no longer yell. But logically, I do understand that it would be better for me to stay quiet and let Taku handle it. Especially since I can't calm down enough to do it myself without shouting. I don't want to agree, but I nod and follow Takumi back.
Do you have any information you can give us about your wife's past activities?
Shizuka was often doing things on her own, and I never looked into her affairs too deeply. My God, I don't know why I'm derping so bad.
The answers to my question are what might help us find her. So please don't hold anything back. Even the tiniest bit of information could be helpful to us.
Under Takumi's intense stare, he hesitates, then sighs.
She didn't keep anything like paperwork in our house. and she most likely has her own financial accounts, but there is one unusual thing that comes to mind. During the late spring of 2013, she was seen spending a great deal of time in Yoru. I had someone watch her from afar for the first time ever during that period, but I never interfered. I did it out of worry.
He walks back to his desk and after rummaging through a drawer, pulls something out. Something far too small for me to see. He hands it to Takumi, and as it changes hands, I see that it's a USB drive.
This is all the information that I have. It may not be much, but it still might help. And I've always assumed that she kept her personal things elsewhere because she never kept anything in the house. So I would think the location holds more information.
Thank you for your help.
Taku slides the thumb drive into his pocket, and after a quick bow, he leaves the room. I follow after Taku, but something compels me to look back at my father. He looks so terribly sad that the sight of it painfully squeezes my heart. But sadness quickly turns back into anger as I remember that this is the man who kept a terrible secret from me. A man who let me be sacrificed so that he and his wife could be happy. I turn on my heel and follow Takumi, leaving the office and my father behind. We make it down to the eerily quiet lobby. Takumi seems lost in thought, so I retreat into my own mind. I didn't expect to find out what I did. How could I have? I sigh. So far we found out that whatever it was that she was doing, she kept it well hidden. Possibly hiding in some other location. But how is that helpful? It's not like we can just know where whatever secret place she might have. Oh, did she just think about the house that she did the ritual tour? Yep, The house that she took me to. That could be it. My stomach twists at the thought of that place. That man didn't seem to know anything about it, so this might really be it. I have to go back there.
What? Go back where?
I sigh and quickly explain my train of thought to Takumi. As I say it out loud, it really hits me. I have to go back to that place again. I clench my shaking hands into fists. My heart beats in my throat. The air around me suddenly feels heavy. Everything around me starts to shift, and I fight to keep myself from shaking. Takumi glances at me and quickly pulls out his phone to check the time.
I work best at night, so let's just go now.
His voice seems to ground me a little, and I manage to nod. With Takumi leading, we head out of the Shinomura building, intending to ride Takumi's scooter to the place I'd hoped to never go back to. Chapter 4, Enigma. So I'm going to let you guys go here. I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!